1 Chronicles 27. Commanders of the army. Now this is the number of the sons of Israel, the heads of Phathers' households, the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, and their officers who served the king in all the affairs of the divisions which came in and went out month by month throughout the months of the year, each division numbering 24,000. Jashobeam the son of Zabdiel was in charge of the first division for the first month, and in his division were 24,000. He was from the sons of Perez, and was chief of all the commanders of the army for the first month. Dodai the Ahohite in his division was in charge of the division for the second month, Mikloth being the chief officer, and in his division were 24,000. The third commander of the army for the third month was Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada the priest, as chief, and in his division were 24,000. This Benaiah was the mighty man of the 30, and was in charge of 30, and over his division was his son Ammizabad. The fourth for the fourth month was Asahel the brother of Joab, and Zebadiah his son after him, and in his division were 24,000. The fifth for the fifth month was the commander Shamhath the Israelite, and in his division were 24,000. The sixth for the sixth month was Ira the son of Ikesh the Tekoite, and in his division were 24,000. The seventh for the seventh month was Helez the Pelonite of the sons of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The eighth for the eighth month was Sibbecai the Hushathite of the Zerahites, and in his division were 24,000. The ninth for the ninth month was Abiezer the Anathothite of the Benjaminites, and in his division were 24,000. The tenth for the tenth month was Maharai the Netophathite of the Zerahites, and in his division were 24,000. The 11th for the 11th month was Benaiah the Pirathonite of the sons of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The 12th for the 12th month was Heldai the Netophathite of Othniel, and in his division were 24,000. Chief officers of the tribes. Now in charge of the tribes of Israel, chief officer for the Reubenites was Eleazar the son of Zikri, for the Simonites Shephatiah the son of Makkah, for Levi Hashabiah the son of Kemuel, for Aaron Zadok, for Judah Elihu one of David's brothers, for Issachar Omri the son of Michael, for Zebulun Ishmael the son of Obadiah, for Naphtali Jerimoth the son of Azriel, for the sons of Ephraim Hosi the son of Azaziah, for the half-tribe of Manasseh Joel the son of Pedaiah, for the half-tribe of Manasseh in Gilead Iddo the son of Zechariah, for Benjamin Jaziel the son of Abner, for Dan Azarel the son of Jeraham. These were the leaders of the tribes of Israel. But David did not count those 20 years of age and under, because the Lord had said he would multiply Israel as the stars of heaven. Joab the son of Zeruiah had begun to count them, but did not finish, and because of this wrath came upon Israel, and the number was not included in the account of the Chronicles of King David. Various overseers. Now Asmaveth the son of Adiel was responsible for the king's storehouses, and Jonathan the son of Uzziah was responsible for the storehouses in the country, the cities, the villages, and the towers. Ezri the son of Caleb was responsible for the agricultural workers who tilled the soil. Shimei the Ramathite was responsible for the vineyards, and Zabdi the Shifmite was responsible for the produce of the vineyard stored in the wine cellars. Balhanan the Gederite was responsible for the olive and sycamore trees in the Shephelah, and Josh was responsible for the stores of oil. Shitrai the Sharonite was responsible for the cattle which were grazing in Sharon, and Shaphat the son of Adlai was responsible for the cattle in the valleys. Obil the Ishmaelite was responsible for the camels, and Jediah the Meronothite was responsible for the donkeys. Jaziz the Hagrite was responsible for the flocks. All these were overseers of the property which belonged to King David. Counselors. Also Jonathan, David's uncle, was a counselor, a man of understanding and a scribe, and Jehiel the son of Hakmoni tutored the king's sons. Ahithophel was counselor to the king, and Hushai the Archite was the king's friend. Jehoiada the son of Benaiah, and Abiathar succeeded Ahithophel, and Joab was the commander of the king's army. 1 Chronicles 28. David's address about the temple. Now David assembled at Jerusalem all the officials of Israel, the leaders of the tribes, and the commanders of the divisions that served the king, the commanders of thousands, and the commanders of hundreds, and the overseers of all the property and livestock belonging to the king and his sons, with the officials and the mighty men, all the valiant warriors. Then King David rose to his feet and said, "Listen to me, my brothers and my people. I had intended to build a permanent home for the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord and for the footstool of our God. So I had made preparations to build it. But God said to me, 'You shall not build a house for my name, because you are a man of war and have shed blood.' Yet the Lord, the God of Israel, chose me from all the household of my father to be king over Israel forever. For he has chosen Judah to be a leader, and in the house of Judah my father's house, and among the sons of my father, he took pleasure in me to make me king over all Israel. Of all my sons, for the Lord has given me many sons. He has chosen my son Solomon to sit on the throne of the kingdom of the Lord over Israel. He said to me, 'Your son Solomon is the one who shall build my house and my courtyards, for I have chosen him to be a son to me, and I will be a father to him. I will establish his kingdom forever if he resolutely performs my commandments and my ordinances, as is done now.' So now, in the sight of all Israel, the assembly of the Lord, and in the presence of our God, keep and seek after all the commandments of the Lord your God so that you may possess the good land and leave it as an inheritance to your sons after you forever. As for you, my son Solomon, know the God of your father, and serve him wholeheartedly and with a willing mind. For the Lord searches all hearts, and understands every intent of the thoughts. If you seek him, he will let you find him. But if you forsake him, he will reject you forever. Consider now, for the Lord has chosen you to build a house for the sanctuary. Be courageous and act." Then David gave to his son Solomon the plan of the porch of the temple, its buildings, its storehouses, its upper rooms, its inner rooms, and the room for the atoning cover, and the plan of all that he had in mind, for the courtyards of the house of the Lord, and for all the surrounding rooms, for the storehouses of the house of God and for the storehouses of the dedicated things, also for the divisions of the priests and the Levites and for all the work of the service of the house of the Lord and for all the utensils of service in the house of the Lord. For the golden utensils, by weight of gold for all utensils for every service, for all the silver utensils by weight of silver for all utensils for every service, and the weight of gold for the golden lampstands and their golden lamps, with the weight of each lampstand and its lamps, and the weight of silver for the silver lampstands, with the weight of each lampstand and its lamps according to the use of each lampstand, and the gold by weight for the tables of the showbread for each table, and silver for the silver tables, and the forks, the basins, and the pitchers of pure gold, and for the golden bowls with the weight for each bowl, and for the silver bowls with the weight for each bowl, and for the altar of incense refined gold by weight, and gold for the model of the chariot, and the cherubim that spread out their wings and covered the ark of the covenant of the Lord. "All this," said David, "the Lord made me understand in writing by his hand upon me, all the details of this pattern." Then David said to his son Solomon, "Be strong and courageous and act. Do not fear nor be dismayed, for the Lord God my God is with you. He will not fail you nor forsake you until all the work for the service of the house of the Lord is finished. Now behold, there are the divisions of the priests and the Levites for all the service of the house of God, and every willing man of any skill will be with you in all the work for all kinds of service. The officials also and all the people will be entirely at your command." 1 Chronicles 29. Offerings for the temple. Then King David said to the entire assembly, "My son Solomon, whom alone God has chosen, is still young and inexperienced, and the work is great. For the temple is not for mankind, but for the Lord God. Now with all my ability I have provided for the house of my God the gold for the things of gold, the silver for the things of silver, the bronze for the things of bronze, the iron for the things of iron, wood for the things of wood, onyx stones and inlaid stones, stones of antimony and stones of various colors, and all kinds of precious stones and alabaster in abundance. In addition, in my delight in the house of my God, the treasure I have of gold and silver, I give to the house of my God, over and above all that I have already provided for the holy temple, namely 3,000 talents of gold, from the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver, to overlay the walls of the buildings, gold for the things of gold, and silver for the things of silver, that is, for all the work done by the craftsman. Who then is willing to Consecrate himself this day to the Lord. Then the rulers of the fathers' households, the leaders of the tribes of Israel, and the commanders of thousands and hundreds, with the supervisors of the king's work, offered willingly, and for the service of the house of God they gave 5,000 talents and 10,000 derricks of gold, 10,000 talents of silver, 18,000 talents of brass, and 100,000 talents of iron. Whoever possessed precious stones gave them to the treasury of the house of the Lord, in care of Jehiel the Gershonite. Then the people rejoiced because they had offered so willingly, for they made their offering to the Lord wholeheartedly, and King David also rejoiced greatly. David's prayer. So David blessed the Lord in the sight of all the assembly, and David said, Blessed are you, Lord God of Israel our Father, forever and ever. Yours, Lord, is the greatness, the power, the glory, the victory, and the majesty, indeed everything that is in the heavens and on the earth. Yours is the dominion, Lord, and you exalt yourself as head over all. Both riches and honor come from you, and you rule over all, and in your hand is power and might, and it lies in your hand to make great and to strengthen everyone. Now therefore, our God, we thank you and praise your glorious name. But who am I and who are my people that we should be able to offer as generously as this? For all things come from you, and from your hand we have given to you. For we are strangers before you and temporary residents as all our fathers were. Our days on the earth are like a shadow, and there is no hope. Lord our God, all this abundance that we have provided to build you a house for your holy name, it is from your hand, and everything is yours. Since I know, my God, that you put the heart to the test and delight in uprightness, I, in the integrity of my heart, have willingly offered all these things. So now with joy I have seen your people, who are present here, make their offerings willingly to you. Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel our fathers, keep this forever in the intentions of the hearts of your people, and direct their hearts to you, and give my son Solomon a perfect heart to keep your commandments, your testimonies and your statutes, and to do them all, and to build the temple for which I have made provision. Then David said to all the assembly, Now bless the Lord your God. And all the assembly blessed the Lord, the God of their fathers, and bowed down and paid homage to the Lord and the king. Sacrifices. On the next day they made sacrifices to the Lord and offered burnt offerings to the Lord, 1,000 bulls, 1,000 rams, and 1,000 lambs, with their drink offerings and sacrifices in abundance for all Israel. So they ate and drank that day before the Lord with great gladness. Solomon again made king. And they made Solomon the son of David king a second time, and they anointed him as ruler for the Lord and Zadok as priest. Then Solomon sat on the throne of the Lord as king instead of his father David, and he prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. And all the officials, the mighty men, and also all the sons of King David pledged allegiance to King Solomon. The Lord highly honored Solomon in the sight of all Israel, and bestowed on him royal majesty which had not been bestowed on any king before him in Israel. Now David the son of Jesse reigned over all Israel. The period which he reigned over Israel was 40 years. He reigned in Hebron 7 years and in Jerusalem 33 years. Death of David. Then he died at a good old age, full of days, riches, and honor, and his son Solomon reigned in his place. Now the acts of King David from the first to the last are written in the Chronicles of Samuel the seer, in the Chronicles of Nathan the prophet, and in the Chronicles of Gad the seer, with all of his reign, his power, and the circumstances which came upon him, Israel, and all the kingdoms of the lands.